What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
Netflix has access to all 7 of the Narnia books, but is that a good thing? What we know for sure is that the actors that were involved in the Narnia franchise won't reprise their roles in the Netflix adaptation. Without any further ado, here's what we know about Narnia 4 and why the 4th film will change everything. The Chronicles of Narnia backstory. The first Narnia film was released way back in 2005. Can you guys believe it's been more than a decade since we were introduced to the Narnia universe? Yeah, we neither. The Chronicles of Narnia is mostly known as Disney adaptation of novels by the famous writer C.S. Lewis. Lewis did a great job with the novels, but it's too bad he's not writing anymore. This story of Narnia captured us immediately, with the plot following several kids that find a portal in an old wardrobe. They enter the other world where a lot of amazing adventures follow, and together they defeat the White Witch. In 2008, Disney decided to create a sequel named the Chronicles of Narnia Prince Caspian. However, the sequel never managed to reach the success of the first film. According to most fans, the sequel lacks magical moments and gives a more serious tone, which is not exactly why Narnia initially succeeded. The movie didn't do very well at the box office too. The third book in the Chronicles of Narnia is called The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and the film adaptation was released in 2010 by Fox. Unfortunately, this film was also a major flop, and it seems like this is enough for Fox and Disney to give up the franchise. This is when Netflix comes in. Thankfully, the streaming giant decided to save the franchise and produce a universe of Narnia quite different than the one we're already familiar with. Here are all the details we know so far. Netflix Chronicles of Narnia. Yes, Netflix is developing a new universe that shows and films based on C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia series, meaning that we are seeing a Narnia reboot. Netflix bought the rights of the franchise in 2018. What we know for sure is that Netflix has decided not to follow the Disney and Fox franchise, and instead start with a new adaptation. This means that Netflix won't continue right after the events of the third Narnia film. C.S. Lewis wrote and published the Chronicles of Narnia books in the early to mid-1950s, and they became widely popular when Disney made an adaptation. Netflix's purchase of the rights to the series in 2018 for their own Chronicles of Narnia reboot brought a lot of mixed opinions, because this is the first company to have access to all the Narnia books. The thing is, Netflix is now completely free when it comes to creative freedom, and they can do anything they want with the franchise. As we previously said, we're expecting a reboot, and this means that the Silver Chair won't be released anytime soon. The question that drives a lot of fans crazy is, how will Netflix choose to adapt the books? Well, we truly have no idea, because the streaming giant is tight-lipped when it comes to this franchise. The best thing would be for Netflix to start with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first book published, but only time will tell. There are more details that will surely amaze you. A corker of a movie. Douglas Jessom, co-producer and stepson of C.S. Lewis, said the Silver Chair would be a corker of a movie, and according to him, the early drafts of the script are the best thing in Narnia that he ever saw.
If someone wants to move a comma in a page, I jump up and down, scream, and bite the carpet and things like that.
But then after some time, he found out that the next Narnia film must be a girl power action movie, and he simply walked away from the franchise. Things changed again when Netflix started the Narnia production, and thankfully, he is still listed as a co-producer. Long anticipated movie. Even though Netflix announced that the rights to Narnia belonged to them back in 2018, the so-called reboot is still under development. Because of this, most fans constantly ask if Netflix is serious about the franchise. Well, the answer is yes. Netflix is quite serious. Well, after paying nearly $250 million for the rights, it has to be serious. However, just when Netflix thought about adapting the franchise, the pandemic happened, which halted countless film projects in 2020 and delayed the releases of dozens. Besides that, other factors that caused the wait are linked with special effects, which make Narnia the masterpiece it is, and, well, Netflix must fulfill the high expectations. Saving the franchise. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is, without a doubt, the best film that came from the entire Narnia franchise. This is according to most fans and, well, according to us. Then, fans were introduced to the sequel named Prince Caspian, and we're not saying this film was bad, but oh wait, yes we are. And the sequel made a really small amount of money compared to the budget, so much so that Disney decided to give up the franchise. But Narnia 3 was released with the Voyage of the Dawn Treader produced by Walden Media, and despite all that effort and, of course, risk, the third film didn't manage to achieve the success of the first one. From the writing to the lack of sense, the third film was, according to most fans, a huge disappointment. Now that Netflix has acquired the rights of the franchise, fans are scared, for a reason, of course. After this many failed attempts, we beg Netflix to not screw Narnia even more. Also, Netflix has plans to adapt The Silver Chair, which will probably change everything in the franchise. The C.S. Lewis story is iconic and epic, but also tender, personal, and emotional, Mark Gordon said, indicating that he will give his best to bring the magic on screen.
And we're starting the new series of Narnia books, The Silver Chair, so we're quite busy with films.
Now, because the actors that appeared in the previous 3 Narnia films are older, and because Netflix will most likely reboot the franchise, Netflix fellas will have a brand new actor for the franchise, which only brings us to Tom Holland as Peter Pevensie. Does Tom Holland need an introduction? We don't believe so. Thanks to his Peter Parker Spider-Man character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Tom Holland is probably on the list of the most famous actors in 2022. His performance in these films proves that he's talented and ready for more adventures, meaning that he's also ready to put Spider-Man behind and focus on more diverse roles. It would be great to see him as Peter, the High King of Narnia, right? Peter appears in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and The Last Battle. The creative architect, Matthew Aldridge, co-writer of Pixar's Coco, will serve as creative architect for Netflix's Narnia. He will oversee the development and creative live-action adaptation of C.S. Lewis's beloved The Chronicles of Narnia series, and will work across both series and films on all projects under the deal, at least according to Netflix. Filming in different locations. Here, we're just expressing our wishes for the upcoming Narnia series and films. The first film of the franchise, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, was filmed in New Zealand, but that was not the case with Prince Caspian because the sequel was filmed all over the world. According to Anna Popplewell, the film started in New Zealand, then they moved over to Eastern Europe. A lot of the scenes from the sequel are filmed in Prague and other cities in the Czech Republic. However, they went to Slovenia and Poland. What we would love is Netflix to do the same with the adaptation. Are we asking for too much? Millie Bobby Brown as Jill Pole. With Tom Holland, Millie Bobby Brown would serve as another amazing addition to the Netflix franchise. The actress is young, and it makes perfect sense for Netflix to cast her as an actress that will make her appearance in the entire adaptation. Brown played Enola Holmes in the movie of the same name, and she's mostly known as Eleven on the hit Netflix series Stranger Things. Netflix perfectly knows how talented she is, and they could easily see a future collaboration in the new Narnia adaptations. Would you like to see her as Jill Pole? Also, what are your hopes for the Narnia franchise? Let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed our video, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. As always, thanks for watching.